Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. I brought the bass guitar, not because I'm going to play for you today. I'm not going to play for you today. I didn't bring the amp and stuff. I brought it because I finished my course. I finished my lessons. If you don't know what I'm talking about, find a place to set this. When I decided this year I wanted to play bass. I had tried once before, like pre-YouTube, and I didn't really have a teacher, and I didn't have the funds to afford a teacher. I barely had enough money to buy the bass. I saved up for it, and so it just didn't go. It didn't work out. This year I've been going to a lot of live music, and I've been inspired, and I've really missed playing music. Like, I missed playing music a whole lot. And I just decided I'm going to give bass another shot. We went to Colorado, visited some friends, they play in a band, came back, bought a bass. This is that bass. I purchased this. This is a Squier Classic Vibes 70s. Yeah, that's what it is. It is a P bass, 70s precision bass, sorry. I picked this bass for a few different reasons. I went to the music stores and I tried tons of basses. I tried Yamahas and PRSs and Glary and Johnson and Gibson. Did I try some? I don't remember if I tried some Gibsons. Music Man Stingrays. And I mean, I tried all of the guitars and I found an old used Squier P bass. It was the only P bass I found in my hunt. And when I grabbed it and felt the neck, I went, oh, this is what I'm looking for. This is exactly what this feels correct to me. The P bass neck is a little bigger than most other necks, and so with my big, long, goofy fingers, it just feels right to me. This feels correct. So I wanted a P bass. And then I went to a music store and I saw this guy, the vintage 70s walnut with black pick guard and these bar fret markers, and I went, yeah, that's mine. This is me in a nutshell. Like, yes. And so I came home and bought it. Now, I bought this for a reason. Instinct told me, buy like the $100 basses off of Amazon because you're not going to keep with this. And I didn't want that. I know me, I know how I do things, and I get interested in something, and I go do the thing. And I knew that if I picked up a bass like that with that intention, I just wouldn't stick with it, because it wouldn't be interesting to me. So I, on purpose, bought a semi-expensive starter bass. This is, I believe I paid, it was almost $500 after tax and stuff. I think that's correct. I think they're retail for like $470 or four something like that. So that's the Classic Vibes. You can get a regular Squier for like $200. The Classic Vibe Squier, this has the poly neck. It has the upgraded Fender pickup. This is like what's in an actual Fender P bass. The one that comes in the Squier P bass is a ceramic. This is an Alnico pickup. So it's a better upgraded hardware, better body, better neck. It's a better bass. And honestly, this feels better and sounds better than the Fenders that I tested in the store. The made in Mexico Fenders, the $1,000 Fenders. So anyway, I bought the more expensive bass, one, because it looks sexy as hell, and two, because I knew that if I spent the money, I would guilt myself into picking it up. Now I have to play it. Because when I tried to play guitar last time, I bought like a $60 or $80 acoustic guitar off of eBay, and it didn't stick. Like it didn't inspire me to play it. This thing, when I see it, I want to pick it up and touch it and feel it, and that leads to me fiddling around and playing something. And I spent a bunch of money on it, so that also inspires me. Like, you have to pick this thing up and play it. You spent all that money, dummy. Okay. That's when I also made the decision to buy a course. There's a few different options. I chose the Bass Buzz Beginner to Badass course because I really like Josh's videos. and I had used some of them to just kind of goof around and learned a little bit. And I thought that's going to be the course for me. So I spent $250 on that course. And at the kind of regular pace, the course takes 3 months. I took a little bit longer because I had a couple of weeks off or a week and a half off or something, whatever. But I have finished the course. I'm done with it. I completed it. And that was also a way for me to hack myself. I bought the course because I knew I've spent all this money on this bass. I spent all this money on this course. I have to do this. And I was hoping that at the end of the course, I would then be like fully inspired to keep going. And I am. I very much am. The course was fantastic. I could definitely recommend it. There are some frustrating moments, like very early on. Josh introduces some very difficult songs that are super discouraging. But his instruction at the time is, you're not going to be able to play this. Skip it. Come back to it later. But I'm playing this, I picked this song for a reason, right? I picked this song because it teaches you something I'm trying to teach in this moment. And when you come back to it later and suddenly you can play it, that's how you mark your progress. And he's right. Because at the end of the course, I had, I think, 3 or 4 songs that I had not got 100% on. I had done the slow and the medium version, but I was not able to play those songs at speed. And I went back and tried them, and it was not an issue at all. I could play all of those songs at speed with not any difficulty, and that felt fantastic. That was like, oh, this actually works. His course teaches theory, it teaches Nashville numbering, it teaches different bass techniques, including slap and pop. At the very end, he goes over pick. I haven't really played with a pick much, which is fine because I was more interested in fingerstyle anyway. The course was phenomenal. It was very, very good. And I'm super thankful that I bought it. It has definitely given me a jump start that I wouldn't have had if I'd have kept just kind of trying to pick and pluck around, find instructional videos on YouTube. You know, the course sets up a clear path, and like, we're going to learn this, and then we're going to learn this, and we're going to slowly build technique and build understanding and build learning. It was absolutely perfect at that. I feel like walking away from it, I know what I need to do next, which is mostly learn songs. I think that learning songs will be how I evolve as a player. It's going to teach me patterns that are regularly used, you know, that sort of stuff. But I feel confident. I feel like I could right now, and I have. Like yesterday, we talked about learning. What's the name of that Ramones song? I don't know the name of the Ramones song. I'm Blitzkrieg Bob. So I said I learned it yesterday. It's a very difficult song because it's super, super fast. But, you know, I can play it at 90% speed, no problem. So that's a good song to learn because I have to build up speed, build up stamina, build up, you know, that sort of stuff. So I think that's my next course of action, is to just pick some songs that I want to learn and work on them every day. And I would also like to start working on my own stuff, or you know, finding jam tracks that don't have a bass that I can play along to. That stuff really interests me. I'm super interested in that. But in particular for this guy, this is the guy that started it all. This is the reason that I've gone through this whole course over the last 4 months. I decided that I would keep, these are the original factory strings, and I decided that I would change them after I finished the course. And when I decided that I would change them, I would do some other things to this bass. And so as a sort of you finished prize to myself, I have purchased those things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this standard, like, classic style, not so great bridge with the Fender High Mass bridge. This is a very heavy bridge that doesn't necessarily do a whole lot for tone or for sustain. Some people say it adds a little bit of sustain. That's fine. What it mostly will do for me is this thing has some neck dive, meaning that if I'm standing up and it's on my strap, it slowly wants to do this because the neck is heavier than the body. This will basically fix that. I don't know that it'll completely fix it, but I think it'll make it much better. So we're going to replace this bridge. It's literally just 5 screws. So when I'm changing the strings, which I'm going to change the strings. For strings, this came with round wound strings, which have a certain sound to them. They're fine, but I now have the Stingray. If I want a growly, brighter sound, I can get it with that. So for this guy, it's getting Fender 45 to 100 stainless steel flat wound strings. So these strings don't have the ridges that you would associate with guitar strings, because the winding on them is not a round winding, it's a flat winding. And so it produces a much mellower, more bass-like tone, more like a synthetic string or something like that. So bridge and strings going on this thing. And while I'm at it, I'm going to pull off the pick guard. I'm going to completely insulate the cabinet, make a Faraday cage out of some copper insulation tape. That's really, on a P bass, not super necessary. But the other thing is, these pots kind of suck. They're not great. So I have purchased genuine, these are called no-load potentiometers. These potentiometers at 10, at full max, nothing is running through the potentiometer. So at max, it's basically just pick up straight to the output jack. And that's basic. I've never really messed with these knobs at all, and I don't intend to. So I'm really excited to try this. Plus, this came with a 250K volume pot and a 500K tone pot, which means that it's a little higher, a little brighter with the tone. Anyway, these are both 250K pots. So I'm going to rewire the bass, I'm going to insulate the bass, put new strings and a new bridge on it, and this will be my cool, like, upright bass sounding instrument, which is what I've wanted. That's honestly the sound that I wanted when I started this. That kind of bluegrass, do 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 do. That's the sound I want, and I'm going to get it out of this. And then I have the Stingray if I want to play punk and I want to play rock, and I want that little growling, brighter, hissier tone. I can get it out of that. So I'm excited. I'm excited to upgrade this. I'll be probably doing that this weekend, not today, but I thought I'd bring it all down here and show it to you and tell you that I completed the Bass Buzz course, and tell you that if you want to learn bass, 1000%, I can recommend the Bass Buzz course. It was absolutely worth the money, and the forums are a fantastic place for bassists to hang out and chat and talk about bass stuff, so that's an extra bonus. Okay, that's what I have for you today. You got any questions? Put them in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know sounds smart is zest. It is a noun meaning extreme enjoyment, a lust for life. Such epithets like pepper give zest to what you write, and if you strew them sparely, they whet the appetite. But if you lay them on too thick, you'll spoil the matter quite. Lewis Carroll, English author and logician. Zest, Z-E-S-T. Is that also not lemon zest? Is that a thing? That's like when you get a little bit of, or orange zest? They don't make me excited.